fix this whole inheriting the Iron Throne thing, because Aegor doesn't want to marry her. I can't do it. I don't want to marry her. Where do I start? If I'm honest, I can't stand her. My betrothal will not find satisfaction with a man like me. Please, father, please don't make this. I don't know what he means by that. Because he's not gay. And she's 11. So, but shut up, Aegor. Do as you're told. Nope. What have you done? What have you done? You've run away. He just disinherited himself. Seriously? Seriously? You were like my perfect heir. What are you doing? Seriously, Maekar? You were so good. Aegor Strongskull. Qoherys just wanders off. The dreams of your betrothal, your hopes of controlling my life, have only pushed me further away. Don't worry about disinheriting me. I'll do it myself. He just wandered around and left. He just left. He was so good as well. What? He keeps changing heirs. Aegon is such a good guy, and his children are just frickin'. It's pulling a he's pulling a Aegon the Unlikely, and it's all going to shit. His first heir dies. His second heir just leaves, flips him the finger, and fucks off. Probably to get. He's friends with a Tully girl. He's friends with a Bracken girl. He's friends with Maekar. So literally, he said, "Fuck you. I'm leaving. Let Maekar be lord. I don't want it," and he left. And Maker's gay. Maekar prefers the dude. Like, I can't. Yeah. So now Maekar needs a bride. But he's not going to get a Targaryen one. So all of my plans have gone to shit. I mean that solves the not inheriting King's Landing thing, but I don't really even think Maekar wants the fucking lordship, for Christ's sake. And we still have a betrothal. Like, my daughter Rhaenys is still betrothed to the king. I could get Aenys back to court and then betroth him to the girl so that they do Targaryen children, which would make sense and secure the line. Yeah, we'll probably do that. Actually, that makes perfect sense. My nephew can get back to court. I'll use the hook on him. Dress you up to fit the occasion, kid. There you go. Young Aenys. He's content as well, and he's the eldest of one of my brother's sons. We apologize profusely to the Targaryens, and basically say, look, marry my nephew instead, and you'll take the Targaryen name. There would still be our blood on the Iron Throne regardless, but it would be Qoherys blood from my nephew's line, so there you go. They'll accept that instead, and they'll take the Targaryen name. Since though my nephew has nothing to inherit anyway, so that works both ways. Also avoids me inheriting the Iron Throne, which I don't want anyway. So there you go, disaster averted. On the other hand, it means I need a new heir because Aegor is in Storm's End. Weirdly, he's in the Stormlands, just chilling. I don't know what the hell's gonna happen with him, but he's gonna do whatever the hell he wants, I guess. This is the curse of Harrenhal. I swear to shit, it's the curse of Harrenhal. Little Rhaegar's dead. Little Rhaegar died of consumption. I also have consumption. This is bad. I am now overwhelmed with stress. The Regency has ended, but all hell is breaking loose. Paranoid, chaste, arrogant, and authoritative. He's arrogant, so I don't think he's going to be particularly thrilled about the idea of marrying anybody. Honestly, I think he is friends with Aegor. But Aegor abandoned his duties and then dumped his duties on Maekar, who never wanted his duties in the first place. So, yeah, it's just a whole family drama going on. At any rate, the heir to the Iron Throne will marry my slightly fucking inbred-looking cousin with his uneven eyes? Question mark? Is it just me, or does he look like he has... No, his eyes are kind of light pale green. Okay. I'm just going to call him Mickey, just to piss off people in the comment section. Mickey Qoherys can come to understand impressive skills. Yes, they grow up so fast. Brilliant strategist, skilled fighter, and forger. He came out pretty good. He came out a hell of a fighter. Good lad, good lad. And then he returns home from Strong's court. My wife is pregnant again. We're going to need to keep producing sons because my sons keep failing me every time. This one's going to run off and join the Kingsguard or something, mark my words. Good lord, now it's my wife. The choice is up to her. No more unnecessary, it'll be fine. Successful treatment. You'll be fine. Rhaegar comes of age. There you go. Oh, he got formidable. Holy warrior, aggressive attacker, formidable skill tactician. Damn. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Maekar will probably never marry, to be honest, because he's Lord now, so he doesn't really have to. Lord Aegon of Harrenhal's finally found peace at the age of 44. He's a charming man. He became famous for his elaborate feasts and grandiose balls. While Maekar sends a suspicious man. Maekar's paranoia might not sit well with his subjects. He'll be fine. I'm definitely changing his hair, though. He looks ridiculous. He lets his hair grow out and just rules as he sees fit, and ultimately... His heir is who? I guess because all of his brothers are dead, yeah, right? Yeah, pretty much. All his brothers are dead. So his heir would be his sister, who is betrothed to our cousin, Aegon. So it would actually pass to my Uncle Maegor's lines. And I don't think Maekar cares. Honestly, he never wanted to be Lord. And now that he is Lord, nobody can force him to marry. So, yeah, he's going to reluctantly be Lord, but he's pretty much just going to let his sister inherit, I think. I mean, realistically, he'd see no reason, right? He doesn't like women. He has no father to force him to marry. He's in charge now. Nobody can tell him to by force, so he's perfectly happy to let his sister inherit. And then the children are still going to be of the family anyway, because she's married to our cousin. So, pretty much, it will just pass to the other branch of the family. Maekar doesn't care, and Aegor certainly doesn't. Aegor, by the way, Aegor's come back. Yeah, no, Aegor has come back to Harrenhal. I suppose that Aegor returns for his father's funeral and makes it clear to his brother that he doesn't want the lordship. He has no intention of taking the lordship. Does he remarry, though? That's the question. Does he remarry? I'm just gonna leave it, like, unless maybe he finds somebody or does something, but honestly, I don't think he does remarry. You wanna know the great irony of Strongskull? He's thick-headed. He's thick-headed. He's chaste. I don't think he's gonna remarry. He doesn't want to marry, and his brother doesn't want to marry. So yeah, Aegor returns to Harrenhal after his father's death, which makes sense because he is friends with Maekar, so the two do get along. He returns home, apologizes to his brother for ditching him with all the duties, and the two discuss the future and say ultimately that they're just going to let their sister inherit, and the lordship can go through the other branch of the family, through their uncle's line. And these two are just going to go, fuck it, we'll do whatever we want, and go, cheers, brother, to freedom, to having our own freedom. The King on the Iron Throne is actually squiring for Aegor. Okay, Aegor's kind of a badass. He's just, yeah, he is basically a badass. Why he had to be so difficult about marrying that fucking Targaryen girl? Why? Or my sister could also die to the same goddamn thing that killed our father. Who knows? You failed the treatment. Oh, you son of a bitch. You remember earlier when I was saying about how the line of succession is secured? And technically speaking it is, but both of the eldest sons that he has are just fucking useless. One of them likes ass too much, and a dragon goes wild. That is a fucking badass looking dragon. Oh, that's my mother's dragon. No, my mother died. Shit! Well, let's have a double funeral. Okay, I will try to bond with my mother's dragon. It's a very chill dragon. I mean, it grew up at Harrenhal with us. It's not out of the realms of possibility that Maekar... Oh, that is the ultimate freedom for him. Nobody could ever make him marry anyone, ever. Because he has a fucking dragon. Only the Targaryens could maybe make him do it. No, not if he dies, he won't, though. I'm just wondering whether or not... I mean, Aegor is here, he is the eldest, and it's not necessarily that he didn't want to be Lord, or that he doesn't want to marry at all. I think it's just a case of he didn't want to marry the Targaryen girl, who was, like, many years younger than him, and he didn't want to be forced upon him. So, does Maekar restore his inheritance, ultimately naming his brother as the heir to Harrenhal. And then Aegor is it's up to Aegor who he wants to marry. They've been friends their entire lives, actually, from, like, early childhood, so it makes sense to me. Like, he's going to acknowledge his brother as heir in the end. I believe that makes sense to me. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it occurs to me this would be the absolute perfect situation for the Landless Adventurer DLC that's coming out soon. And, yeah, this would be perfect, because I would have Aegor go on a big adventure thing where he goes to become a sellsword, while his brother would stay as Lord of Harrenhal. But in this scenario, instead, we're going to do the following. Basically, Maekar has stood down. He doesn't really particularly want to be Lord. He never really wanted to be Lord. His brother just thrusted it upon him. And returning to Harrenhal for their father's funeral, Aegor accepts the lordship returned to him. Maekar happily does so, and names him Lord of Harrenhal. And Aegor thanks his brother and names his brother as Lord of Darry. What this does is basically allow Maekar to live out his days as the Lord of Darry, peaceful and left alone, and he's allowed to do whatever he wants and be with whoever he wants. You may ask yourself, oh, but he ran away, Sol. He refused to marry. Yes, he did refuse. He refused to marry a Targaryen girl that was like half his age, And instead, the entire time, he wanted to marry his friend and his soulmate, the Lady Tully. His friend since childhood. She has huge tracts of land. But no, really. She's his best friend, and she was since childhood, since his time with the House Strong, squiring for the Knights in the Riverlands. I'm assuming he met the girl. She is actually the daughter of Sir Stevron Mallister through a Tully girl. So she is absolutely not a candidate for marriage that Aegor's father would have agreed to. But Aegor's father is dead. And now Aegor is the Lord of Harrenhal. He can marry who he wants. Essentially, Aegor ran away because the love of his life was forced to marry an old man. His father was trying to force him to marry a Targaryen girl half his age, and he felt like he had no control over his life, and he just flipped the middle finger and said, "Q, I'm leaving," and only returned home once his father was dead. Following Aegor's character here is far more important to me than being the Valyrian Dragon Lord purist thing, and he is quickly becoming one of my favorite characters, actually. I like him. He's going against everything that I had originally intended. But this doesn't make him any less of a Valyrian-blooded man, ladies and gentlemen. He is attempting to bond with his mother's dragon, who is nearby, just off the shore of the God's Eye. So, hopefully, because it's such a cooperative and friendly dragon, taming it should be pretty easy. He does have a decent 40% chance. Bonding. I start walking in the direction the snoring seems to be originating. A strange sense of unease comes over me as I realize that I haven't seen a single living creature in some time, nor can I recall even the slightest tree dweller, chirp, or critter. Rounding a large tree, I spy the cause of the silence and snore. Ravagon sound asleep in the clearing, just mere feet in front of me. She looks surprisingly peaceful like this, curled up suddenly. A nap sounds nice. Honestly, I kind of want to see what happens if we have a nap. Some time passes and I wake with a start. Warm breath now bellowing into my face. Terrified, I stay completely still, and see she has caned her neck to peer into my face. I feel a shiver go down my spine. Perhaps this wasn't my smartest decision. To my surprise, she seems to simply go back to sleep. Perhaps she's getting a little more used to my company. This was warmer than my bed. But yeah, no, I figured the whole story with the Tully girl is really fitting to his character, so it's nice. And it goes against the whole family tradition. And everything that, you know, all of the previous lords stood by is the bloodline must be pure. And they avoided marrying outside of the Dragon Lord bloodline this entire time. And then here comes Aegor, the fucking Strongskull, the hard-headed, and just goes, I'll do what I want. Even if the children come out with Tully hair. That's going to be interesting, because they might do. The Tully seed is very strong, ladies and gentlemen. It even overwrote the Starks. So, not entirely. There were, you know, obviously, some like Arya and Rickon looked like Starks, but all the other Starks looked like frickin' Tullys. So, yep, we'll see what the Tully seed does to the line. They look like Valerons. Look at that, lads. Whoa, and she's got mismatched eyes. That's cool as hell. I know exactly what we're going to call them. Daemon got the Comely from his father. Daenerys getting the mismatched eyes. You know, that's sweet. Even further proof that we are Dragon Lords, ladies and gentlemen. The silver won out over the red. That's cool as hell. I'm happy with that. See? This is like further proof that like his father was wrong. Like his father and grandfather were wrong about the blood, you know. It reaffirms Aegor's belief that, you know, he did the right thing. He did the right thing marrying, you know, for love rather than following his father's wishes. Okay then, I can actually knight King Aemon already. At the age of 14, he is good enough to be knighted. Rovagon? Fuck, I'm changing his dragon's name. Rovagon, because it doesn't have the AE. So Rovagon. Rovagon. Fuck knows. Bloody dragon. From Harrenhal to the Shadowlands of beyond the Shy, let it be known that I, Lord Aegor of Harrenhal, claim the dragon Rovagon as my own. As long as I draw breath, I will never forget this day. And it's my mother's dragon. It's not the biggest dragon that's ever existed, but we have a dragon rider. You may notice we're running out of money. That's because we are upgrading Harrenhal again. Actually, my half-brother? Yeah, my half-brother, who's actually not even entirely related to me at all, because he could be somewhat related to us, but this is the boy that Aegon, the Honest, picked up on the road. He has formed his own cadet branch, and married a bastard girl from House Butterwell. So for his sigil, I have taken 3 white skulls on the field, and then put the Butterwell's thing underneath. And I've named his cadet branch Ray Skull. And their motto is, I have the power! Nothing going on, really, ladies and gentlemen. There's a short war with Maidenpool. We're going to go grab some land, because the Tully's grip on the Riverlands has once again diminished. Slash, I also think, because my daughter is betrothed to the heir of Riverrun, that we have some leeway. But then the Tullys have never really had much control over the Qoherys anyway. It kind of just does its own thing. Especially since Aegor has a fucking dragon, what can Tully really do? All he's done, basically, is orchestrate the blood ties now between the Tullys and the Qoherys, is to secure his rule. Like, you know, that's the best that he can do to keep them in check, more or less. But no, we'll make short work of all these lads. Grab these territories, bring them into the fold. Then nobody can stop us, really. Nobody can stop us. The Tullys are basically in our pocket. I mean, as far as Lord Tully is concerned, the House Qoherys is extremely loyal to the throne. Why the hell is half of the Vale part of the Stormlands? That's another issue entirely. And after usurping the High Lordship of Maidenpool, Lord Tully is just giving us the Maidenpools. So I think is probably the most that we will do. I don't want to expand too much, but yeah, no. The Qoherys is of Harrenhal is basically the backbone of House Tully's rule. Without them, House Tully would fall, or be at least massively overwhelmed by its bannermen. Aha! Seaports and traders alike, my granddaughter Daenerys has hatched one of the dragon eggs. It's pink. It's pink. It's very pink. But still, yeah, that's an extra dragon. She hatched the egg, so it works. Suck it. We are dragon lords. We will be dragon lords. It'd be cool if one of my kids could, like, tame that. I mean, I have granddaughters who are pretty badass. Like, Rhaena, also, like, a fighter. So they're both warriors. But there's a dragon outside. Go tame it. Go tame it, darling. Aegon, oh god, he whipped himself to death. As he was... Okay. There's a whole new meaning to Red Dragon. According to Lord's Inheritance, Aegon Targaryen has some mourn the passing of his grace. I mean, if there was ever a time for civil unrest, it's probably right now. Alright, this is the only match I can get, really. It's my nephew's kid. But she's Targaryen. Doesn't have a dragon or anything, but it keeps the Targaryen blood in the family. So I'll take it. It's like the king's just like second cousin or something. Okay, tell you what we're gonna do. Since his wife, my niece, just died, my granddaughter, the willful one, will marry the prince and current heir to the Iron Throne. In the event that Aegon dies, at least, we have a foot in both camps, so to speak. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it appears that Lord Tully has fucked up. He has fucked up. He has risen in rebellion against King Aegon in the Liberty War. Obviously, we're gonna side with the kid, my grandson. Ironically, the Tully heir is also my grandson, so we'll abdicate for, you know, the boy's life being spared, but this may well be the thing that gets Lord Tully stripped of his titles. And who do you think the crown is going to give the Lord Paramountcy to? I think Piper has declared neutrality, though. Not everyone has joined Tully in this, and neither will I. The rebels will pay dearly for this. I've received a notice from King Aegon. Given my status as the rider of Aegon, this is not perhaps surprising, but what is surprising is its content. He has asked me to do more than simply fight in his wars, but to actively conduct a terror campaign wherever I am to go, burning not just our enemies' armies, but their lands, fields, and peoples as well. Such a strategy would make me the murderer of hundreds, perhaps thousands. Could I live with it? Well, others will judge me for it too, beyond the realm. Such an act is compelled even by my legion commander. The question therefore falls to me. Do I accept or refuse? Yeah. The boy king asks of me to bring his enemies to heel. So be it. By your will, your grace. It shall be done. The only question is, do we march south to join the king? Or do we march on Riverrun itself? Kind of would burn Riverrun, but at the same time my grandsons are there. And my daughter. So I don't really want to burn Riverrun to ashes or anything, but at the same time we could go down south, join up with the king. Yeah, let's go down south, join up with the king. We go over there, help with these lads? Pretty much, I think. We got 40,000 men over there with the king. And we're in King's Landing, just beating the enemy back. I also want to point out, the Valerons have sided against House Targaryen in this. Most of the Iron Islands, most of North, the only Lord Paramount to actually be fighting against us is Lord Tully. The rest are either neutral or on our side. Let's go hunt down the rest of these lads. Stark can handle himself down south. And Targaryen's forces showed up as well. It's 10k troops there. I think they're screwed, pretty much. Tyrell is coming up north with 30,000 men. Baratheons are apparently staying out of this. House Rain is siding with the crown, though. I suppose we march on Riverrun, honestly. Actually, no, here's Tully. I'm gonna go for Tully. Because Aegor's gonna be pissed. Like, the Tullys, of all people, are doing this. His liege lord is doing this. The father of his own grandchildren is committing high treason, ladies and gentlemen. There will be blood to pay for this. Mark my words. I think the king's dealing with it himself, to be honest. The risks of bravery. Lord Paramount, holy crap, he's insane. He's mad! I'm flying high above the clouds of the gates of the gods atop Aegon, preparing to conduct a hammer and anvil strike against the enemies once they charge. When I look down and see that Lord Paramount Willis has already drawn his forces forward. Most surprisingly of all, he is leading their wedge charge himself. While doubtlessly brave, I cannot help but think such a distance from his troops is unwise. You swoop down and swipe Willis right off his horse. Yep. Goodbye, Tully. Seriously, how could you not see this coming? Maybe he thought that the Qoherys would, like, side with him, but no. He was officially killed by the dragon. Aegon, the Fellfire. It does appear that while the frickin' armies are... Yeah, I'm fighting over there. While my army is laying siege to Riverrun, I'm flying with the king. And just burning fucking everybody. The rest of the rebels. They don't have the numbers to stop us at this stage. Have taken, my daughter in the siege, of all people. I won't leave her imprisoned. Oh, she's infirm as well, and delicate, and widowed. It will take her back to Harrenhal, and she can live out the rest of her days in peace. I'm basically just burning Tully lands, like the king ordered me to. There you go. Victory is achieved, ladies and gentlemen. My grandson is imprisoned, and the factions are brought to heel. So many people have... I don't know what the king's gonna do, ladies and gentlemen. Eesh. Critical dragon damage. Yeah. The land surrounding Riverrun and a lot of the Riverlands have been burnt to cinders, ladies and gentlemen. My eldest grandson, Sir Colmar Tully, because he didn't bend the knee after his father's death, was sent to the Night's Watch, given mercy. Pretty much is Qoherys'... It's Aegor's influence over the king has asked for his grandsons to be spared. But they have been stripped of their Lord Paramountcy. So my second eldest grandson, Rob Tully, is currently Lord of Riverrun, but is nothing more than Lord of Riverrun. He's married to my great-granddaughter, Masha Darry, who is a daughter through my granddaughter, Jane Rayskull. The family lines are all getting very convoluted. But yes, as the most powerful and loyal house in the Riverlands, of Valyrian descent, and Dragonlords in our own right, House Qoherys is granted the Lord Paramountcy of the Riverlands, ruling from their seat of Harrenhal, which is almost complete. I can actually now start building the last part of it, I think. Yeah, with all of my gold, but I'm making loads of gold, so... it will be rebuilt to the greatness it briefly was before the Conqueror set ablaze to the place. It'll take 3 years, but that's not too bad. Of course, the Targaryens have now... Why the hell does the North control... Fucking... That's a weird thing. Okay. I'm gonna have to fix that. Who control... The Riverlands controls some of the Stony Shore, and the Stormlands controls some of this. Why the hell... Yeah. Good lord, game. Faces. Faces scream up at me as I fly past, their skins slogging off in the wake of my dragon's wings as they burn beneath us. We try to fly faster, burning as we go, but the bones keep stumbling forward. Men, women, children, they scream towards us, clutching us. They claw at me, begging to stop, grasping, reaching, pulling me down. I wake in a cold sweat, my heart pounding my chest. I can't get the faces out of my head. I can't get the screams out of my ears. I can't get the smell of burning flesh out of my nose. I can't get the heat of the flames out of my skin. I can't get the guilt out of my heart. Why did I ever commit such horrors? Because the king asked us. Yeah, Aegor, I don't know how long Aegor's gonna live before he's like overcome with stress. Past the point. I awaken coughing, my mind fogged. I feel so sickly, the cold water does little to refresh me. I'll be around for donkey's years yet, I'm sure, aging gracefully. Characters starting to decline, but the march of time seems to wear a little heavily on them the most, yes. That's the Valyrian blood, lad. The dragon blood is keeping me strong. And I'll grab that to get more cash. I will have Aegor yet live to see Harrenhal rebuilt to its former glory, ladies and gentlemen. It is not far off now. It is 20 months left. Not bad. It's almost there. So, Aegon marries my daughter, but he imprisons his uncle? He wants me to do his master at ships, which is a really weird position to put me in, but okay. God damn it, I will live long enough to see Harrenhal rebuilt. Even if I must wet the mortars with my blood, I will see it. I will see it come to fruition. I will see it done, damn you. Happening, lads, all I have to do is survive for 50 days in order to see the fruits of our labor completed. Do it. Do it. He can live. He can live for 10 days, I believe. Oh, wait, is it not done yet? No, it is. Harrenhal's rebuilt. Harrenhal restored. Rebuilt to the former greatness it briefly was, Harrenhal is once again the most splendid castle in Westeros. Its 5 great towers behind its massive walls reach defiantly into the sky with its lords in terror of nothing save the return of dragons. And it costs me minus tax to maintain because it's such a monstrous castle, but the garrison is ridiculously powerful and dread gains out of this world. The next thing we need is Dragon Pit, wasn't it? It was here. I swear it was here. There was an option for it. Yeah, there it is. Dragon Pit. 3,500. So I need to wait for that, but then I can build a Dragon Pit inside, or Dragon Pen, technically. I think I can upgrade it. No, it's just Dragon Pen. Yeah, I can build a Dragon Pen to house my dragons at Harrenhal, basically, similar to the one at King's Landing.